Diddy and Young Miami showed up and showed out. They were, to me, one of the best dressed couples. Diddy was styled by famous celebrity stylist June Ambrose. She crushed it. And you know, Diddy, he didn't got a little thick.
You think?
He didn't got a little thick. And so this outfit had a slimming effect. You know, hey, look, in a lot of countries, the thicker you are, it represents the more successful you are. So I'm not hating on the fact that he's gotten thick.
Yeah, in some countries, not this one.
So in the U.S., you wear black when sometimes you need to just, slim it down a little bit for optics, and he did that. Now, speaking of Diddy and Young Miami, for those that don't know, they have been on and off. To me, they're one of the most, I would never want to be in a relationship like that. If that were a phrase, they represent to me the most unstable, toxic relationships. But guess what? It obviously works for them. So, Telly, I'm not making this up. Young Miami was on an interview last week, and she verbatim said, "I am not with Diddy. We are not together. I am single." Those are the exact words that came out of her mouth. "I am not with Diddy. I am single. We are not a couple." Then they show up at the Met Gala. This was just a week ago. Then they show up at the Met Gala on Sunday. Well, Lala Anthony was one of the Met Gala correspondents interviewing certain celebrities as they were entering the Met Gala on the red carpet. We have audio from the interview with Lala Anthony, Diddy, and Young Miami. And let me tell you this, Telly.
Okay.
There's been very few instances in my life looking from the outside in where I've seen Diddy sweat. I've seen Diddy cuss out people, keep it moving. We could talk about Diddy on a whole show could be about Diddy's leadership, his longevity, how he's ran Bad Boy Records, etc. But one thing I would never, ever use in terms of describing Diddy is weak or nervous or lack of confidence. Check this interview out.
Officially go together real bad? I'm asking. I want to know.
She gonna answer that.
You not answering that?
No, I'm answering. Of course, real bad. We here.
All right, real bad, real bad. It's official, real bad.
I don't know what you're asking exactly. We definitely go together real bad.
Then that's what it is. Then that's what it is.
She's my date for the night.
It's just a good date night.
It's a date night. Date night.
We don't put titles on it. Everybody wants us to put a title on it. We don't put titles on it. This is like my best friend in the world. One of the most beautiful people God has blessed me to meet.
Absolutely.
And I'm blessed that she's my date tonight.
Absolutely.
Can I get like a little napkin for my forehead? Damn, I'm sweating.
And by the way, maybe I onto something.
He said, "Damn, I'm sweating." That was, just in case you're just tuning in, that was Diddy being interviewed by Lala Anthony during this previous Sunday evening's 2023 Met Gala, and he was with, what did he call her? My Shorty Doo-Wop on Twitter one time when they broke up for the 18th time. According to Diddy, during the interview, he went from in a matter of seconds, literally, Job, y'all heard the interview. He went in a matter of seconds from "we go together real bad" to "she's my beautiful date for the night." And then you could hear Young Miami in the background saying, "Yeah, this is a date. This is a date." Truth Nation, the Truth Talking text line is 833-212-1017. Would you be in a relationship with somebody that refers to you as your Shorty Doo-Wop, or in a matter of seconds, y'all go together real bad? "Oh, no, psych, just playing. We just a date." Now again, Telly, I'm not about that celebrity life. I know it's different. A lot of times, us ordinary people, we try to compare and analyze celebrity love, and it's different. But that is a whole different type of different, because she literally just said last week, "I am single. I am not with Diddy." And here they are.
Denise, I know we got to go to break, but before we do, that's what happens when you are a 50-plus-year-old man dating somebody in their 20s. Yeah.
Okay. I'm asking the right question because you gave the right answer. More to come, Truth Nation. Again, So Telly is like, yeah, that's what happens when you're 8,000 years old and you date somebody who's like
You call somebody
20.
Shorty Doo-Wop.
Right. Shorty Doo-Wop. That's older than me. When we come back, we want to learn more about how you're feeling. Do you even care? But then also, you want to stay tuned because this next person we're going to talk about has lost his complete mind. He's an NBA legend and literally has lost his mind. You're going to find out who that is when we come back from break. This is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on the new award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Listen to Truth in the Afternoon with me, Dr. Ken Harris, on Wednesday, May 3rd, as I will be broadcasting live from the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee College Signing Day, presented by Direct Supply. I'll be speaking with students from the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee about their journey through high school to college. Again, that's Truth in the Afternoon, live from the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee College Signing Day, Wednesday, May 3rd, on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Read my lips now.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes?
Stay out my
Loud.
business.
Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's
Yeah, I
got
was
you
saying,
with
I
$50
don't
overdraft
think
Greystone.
people can read
So
my
if you
lips.
lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones,
purpose of
we've got
Grace.
your back. You got this with $50 overdraft Greystone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking
I'm
or ask
sorry.
a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Truth Be Told with DT and Telly returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
The process and the end product are equally as valuable.
Yeah, I don't got it yet, but I'm trying. And I see that there's no point in me lying to you.
One call, that's all is right. Now is your chance to be entered to win our One Call, That's All 5K giveaway winner. You heard me. That's right, $5,000. Be caller number 5 right now and be entered. You're not going to win. You're just going to be entered to win $5,000. Remember, if you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, call Gruber Law Offices now. One call, that's all. Be caller number 5 and win this money from the One Call, That's All 5K giveaway. For official contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com. Call now at 833-212-1017. And go ahead, Denise.
When we come back, Truth Nation, you don't want to miss this. You want to stay tuned because, like Dr. Maya Angelou taught us, when someone shows you who they are the first time, believe them. This is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on the new award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Truth Nation, spring has sprung and we're doing some spring cleaning. We've already cleaned up our lineup with brand new shows, but now it's time to clean up our Instagram. We've created a brand new Instagram page that we would love for you all to follow to stay updated on all things truth. We'll be posting exclusive content, behind the scenes footage of our team, along with different things going on in the community that you should know about. We're taking out the old and bringing in the new for a fresh start, and we want to bring you with us to this new beginning. So follow us on the gram at 101.7 The Truth today.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org.
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here and ready to help. Anyone can call or text 988 or chat via 988wisconsin.org to get connected to a trained Lifeline counselor. Trained counselors are here to support anyone experiencing a suicidal, mental health, or substance use crisis. You can also contact 988 if you are concerned about someone. 988 is confidential and free to all Wisconsin residents. 988 24/7. Call, text, chat. Here to support you. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Why? Why do we ignore the things that give us pause, that seem out of place, that don't feel right? The answer to why defines who we are. So if you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my friends.
For my community.
For my family.
For each other. Because all of this matters. We all have something worth protecting. So why do you see safe? Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
Listen to the home of the 5K Gruber Cash Giveaway. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Take 5, the Northside Classic. Bring me back. Yeah. Get ahead, go ahead if you're hungry. Sun kissed by the sun rays in the morning. Dollars on my mind, yeah, paper important. I turn to the face, so ever gorgeous.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is the top of the hour. You're listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. Coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio inside the Avenue in the heart of the beautiful, thriving, growing downtown Milwaukee. Truth Nation, hope y'all are making it, not just having, but making it a great week. Before we went to break, we were talking about the Met Gala, who understood the assignment, who did not, as well as the on-again, off-again couple, Diddy and Young Miami. Wesley on the Truth Talking text line says, good morning, DT. I believe when you're in...
You're going to read this?
I shouldn't?
Wait till... Okay, no, go ahead and read it, and then you're going to be like, wait a minute.
Right.
No, it's not like bad. It's not bad, but I'm just like, read it, and then like you'll see what I'm saying. Go ahead and read it.
Okay. Now I'm like,
no.
I read it? Okay.
No, go ahead.
Good morning, Miss DT. I believe when you're in Mr. Combs status like myself, I'm being satisfied by my wife so much that when she goes out for date nights with her friends and is using her flirtiness to get hookups, that will yeah, okay.
That's why, yeah. As soon as you said, like, when you're in the same status as Mr. Combs, I was like, what are you talking about, Wesley?
Too early.
Yeah, too early for that,
Wesley is too early.
Yeah.
That's the Quiet Storm show, which we don't have quite yet here on The Truth. But that's where a DJ is in the studio with candles, some Crown Royal.
What's your song? Who you dedicating this to?
Yeah, what do you think about?
Man, she broke my heart, man. She was tripping, man. I did her wrong.
Wesley,
so you want to play?
Like,
I want her back.
Man, Wesley, he's like, tell your friends to get with my friends and we can be friends and we can do this every weekend, all right?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
that's what I was just like. I started reading and I'm like, all right, come on, man.
So, Wesley, just so you know, it is 8:03 in the morning, okay? The nighttime is the right time for what you're talking about, not on this segment. But thank you for listening.
Or dreaming time. And
hey, Telly, why'd you say you gonna read this? And I'm like, well, I don't see any, because like when so Truth Nation, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Truth be told, when we receive text messages, to a degree, we screen it. We have this what we call proofreading skill set, to where we just look for certain words or phrases. I didn't see that, so Telly, thank you. Because again, see, this is why you're the professional journalist, and I'm the talent, the entertainer.
I was looking, I was like, wait a minute, hold on, man.
Your proofreading skills are off the meter. Thank you, brother Telly. Because you was like, you gonna read this, and I'm like, I don't see any bad words.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to do
Thanks,
that.
Thanks, Wesley.
Yeah.
Anybody came to see you, Coming in here setting me up for trouble. Anybody come to see you, Otis?
Hey,
see me?
as soon as you start reading it, they be like, hold on, what the fees?
Look, did you see how I was like, I read it with such like, I was like, good morning, Miss DT. I believe it. Whoa, hey, wait a minute. Whoa. This the truth be told, but you ain't got to tell all the truth.
Hit that Nate Dogg on you. Hold up.
You know what? Not the Nate Dogg.
Hold up.
Hold up. You know what? We should start having that on cue. We should be like, hold up.
Hold up.
Hey. Yeah, Wesley. You take a breath next time you hit the send button, okay?
Yeah,
just ask yourself.
Yeah. Like,
do I want to get Denise fired? just ask yourself, Truth Nation, before you hit the send button. Now, speaking of saying things that you ain't had no business saying, I mean, Truth Nation, Telly and I, we really, really want to hear how you feel about this. And just so you know, I'm not making this up. We've got the audio. We've got the audio for you so you can hear it straight from the source's mouth. 11-time champion coach Phil Jackson said in a recent interview that we're going to play an excerpt from that he no longer watches NBA basketball. Some of you are probably thinking, what's wrong with that, Denise? I'm so glad you asked. There's nothing wrong with Phil Jackson no longer watching NBA basketball. But this is where the problem comes into play. This is where the supremacy is just totally demonstrated through this narrative. He no longer watches NBA basketball, saying that the league was trying to appeal to a, quote, certain audience with social justice efforts. He said this during a recent appearance on the Tetragrammaton with Rick Rubin podcast earlier this month. And during this interview, Phil Jackson told the host, Rick Rubin, that he had not watched NBA basketball since the 2020 pandemic, and the league played in a COVID bubble in Orlando, Florida. He said that having phrases, and again, y'all gonna hear this straight from him. I'm not making this up. Phil Jackson said that having phrases like justice and equal opportunity on the back of players' jerseys instead of their last names was a sign of catering. They had things, and this is, you know what? Let me just quit talking so y'all can hear it straight from the horse's mouth. I mean, excuse me, the source's mouth. And Telly, you know I'm going to be looking for your expertise when we finish listening to this complete.
Yeah.
If I am so privileged and I am so better than you was a person, just listen. Here we go. Phil Jackson.
And it's audio.
Do you still watch a lot of basketball or
no? I don't.
Tell me about that. When and did you stop immediately from the time you stopped coaching?
No, I didn't. I watched some of the game evolve and decided, and they went into the lockout year and they did something that was kind of wanky. They did a bubble down in Orlando, and all the teams that could qualify went down there and stayed down there.
No audience.
And they had things on their back like, justice, and I made a little funny thing like, Justice just went to the basket and equal opportunity just knocked him down. And somebody, I had another name for a guy who has jersey in the back of a jersey, had some other slogan. So my grandkids thought that was pretty funny to play up those names. So I couldn't watch that. And the Lakers won, actually. They won that year. And
do you feel like it just made little of the game, like it made it like a sideshow? What do you think it was that turned you off?
Well, it was. They even had slogans on the floor, on the baseline. It was catering. It was trying to cater to an audience or trying to bring a certain audience into play, and they didn't know it was turning other people off. People want to see sports as non-political. We've had a lot of different type of players that have gone on to be like, Bill Bradley was a senator, number of baseball players been representatives and senators and political, but their politics stay out of the game.
Yeah, it's separate.
Doesn't need to be there.
Lot to unpack there. Phil Jackson.
So, Telly, now you know how we do this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want Denisha to go first? and then because this is going to be Denisha editorial right here. I'm so sick of certain individuals. And I'm not Phil Jackson, so I'm just going to keep it 100%. I am sick and tired of certain white men, executives that make literally millions of dollars off of black men. You can Google image Phil Jackson right now. And if there's a picture of him with another human being, it is a black man. I'm not making this up, Telly. You can Google image Phil Jackson right now. And if it's a picture of him with another human being, it is a black man. Now, this is the reason why I don't have a problem. Let me be clear. I don't have a problem with people who say I don't like black people, or I don't like members of the LGBTQIA plus community, or I don't like obese people. I don't like old people. You have every right to feel the way that you feel. And it is not my responsibility, nor is it my problem to try to convince you on something that you're committed to believing. I do have a problem, though, when you trivialize and make a mockery. So I'm supposed to go to work every day as a professional athlete, as a black man in this country. And I'm saying this on the behalf of the brothers that play in the NBA. And I'm supposed to, knowing that I'm seeing images of people that look just like me being brutalized. Because, see, here's the thing. In this country, aside from Dr. King, during the civil rights movement, the only people that were allowed to be regarded as leaders and sit in the rooms of presidents and etc. were either athletes or entertainers. You don't believe me? Google White House visits in the 80s and 90s of black people. It's going to be Michael Jackson. It's going to be anybody who played a sport and then won the world championship. Those were the voices that we had, whether you believe it or not. And so they know they have an obligation. But for Phil Jackson to say that out loud after you have there's a Sports Illustrated cover where Phil Jackson has his arm wrapped around Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, looking like I almost said it, but I'm not going to say it. You know what I was going to say.
Well, let me go ahead and cut you off before you say something like that.
Well, let me just say this. Looking like he owned them. Okay. I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to sit there and act as though you have not benefited, and then I'll say this and I'll be quiet, Telly. A lot of leaders, when speaking against social injustice, civil rights, will reference, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, which was one of the first sentences in the Declaration of Independence written July 4th, 1776. Let me just remind us, Truth Nation, that when that document, which is not a legal document, but when it was authored, no isms existed. Race did not play a factor because as far as they were concerned, the we created equal were white men. There was no black people at that point were slaves and were considered subhuman or 2/3 human.
Yeah.
So I just want to be clear, like when you hear comments like Phil Jackson that come from Phil Jackson, he is reminding you that this country was founded by a certain demographic, a certain gender, and there are a lot of people that look like those founding fathers that still believe you owe me, you work for me, you do this for me. And when I tell you to sit down after you've been in the field all day, you sit down and be quiet. That's what Phil Jackson just said as far as I'm concerned. And he can kick rocks. And everything that Jalen Rose and Shannon Sharp said in terms of responding to that ignorant comment. Truth Nation, how do you feel?
Yeah. Well,
let us know.
I tell you what, first off, I thought it was so inappropriate for him to mock. Now, he first said, well, I really stopped watching when they did that little thingy down there in Orlando. And then we thought it was cute when they said, injustice grabs the rebound and equal opportunity dribbles up the court. That's ignorant because their names were still on the back of their jerseys alongside these messages. So that part, I think you're really just trying to be facetious and almost not almost, you're making a mockery of the people that risked their lives to go down to this bubble. At that particular time, no one knew what was going on and if basketball could even resume after it was shut down. That's number one. Number two, it's not that far-fetched for this comment to come out of Phil Jackson's mouth because if you recall, history has a way of repeating itself, but you just got to pay attention to it. When Phil Jackson was the president and head coach of the New York Knicks, there was a certain player by the name of LeBron James that was a free agent. The same year he went to Miami. He was being courted by the Knicks and everybody else, of course. And Phil Jackson says, yeah, I'm just not sure if LeBron and his posse will be a good fit here in New York. He used the word posse. And he was referring to Rich Paul, who has become one of the most influential agents in all of sports, Maverick Carter, who helped LeBron start his production company. All of these posse members are very successful businessmen that were LeBron James's friends before his success and has remained his friends and his close brothers throughout his journey. So for Phil to say that, this is something that he has always felt. And the last thing I'm going to say about this, and in terms of the politics of it, he spoke of Bill Bradley becoming a senator and other baseball players and other professional athletes have gone on to have political careers. Please tell me what ethnicity all of these former players are. Oh, okay.
White men.
Oh,
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't quite know that because the last time I checked, the first black former athlete that they were trying to really push was Herschel Walker this past year to be the senator in Georgia.
I'm sorry. Every time I hear his name, I just start laughing. What a joke. But go ahead.
Yeah, and even though.
What a joke.
And what was so crazy, he's running in Georgia because he played for the University of Georgia, but he lived in Texas. But that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, my point is, Phil Jackson is who he is. He's always been that way. And he has become one of the most decorated coaches ever based off of him coaching two of the greatest players to ever play the game in Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. And so last time I checked, he didn't win any championships with Larry Bird or any white players. And for him to be so critical of black players at times and the league as a whole, who was trying for a change since the 60s to actually be involved in what was going on in society. But a lot to unpack with that Phil Jackson comments and
we got a lot
response.
We got a lot of things coming in on the Talk and Text lines.
Yes.
When we come back, we're gonna read some of this stuff. But I will say this before we go to break. And Truth Nation, please call in, text, let us know how you feel. Your voice is valuable. It deserves to be heard because we got people from all walks of life that listen to this show. And one of the things that we do here on the Truth Be Told show is provide exposure and awareness. A lot of folks get it from the outside. You getting it right here from the people that are mostly impacted. When we come back from break, we're going to talk about why this is so hurtful to our community. You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on the new 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee, it's Denise Thomas.
And Telly Hughes from Truth Be Told on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
We want to make sure you join us every Friday morning at 8 a.m. for our Black Friday shout-out powered by We Energies.
Black Friday is your opportunity to call into 1017 The Truth and shout out your black-owned business and let Milwaukee know what you have to offer.
So hit us up every Friday at 8 a.m. to shout out your black-owned business on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
On Diversity and Excellence powered by Erie Insurance, I am so excited to talk about the different ways that Erie Insurance can help with our community growth, can provide job opportunities from Erie Insurance Corporate, or with our local agency force. I'm really excited about the education of generational wealth in our Black and brown communities and how we are a part of the communities here locally. There's so much more we can be a part of. Listen to me, Fred Johnson, on Diversity and Excellence, powered by Erie Insurance.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. But prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
This is 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris, and the time is now, Milwaukee. You know, perspective is essential. What I found is the news behind the news is more important. I want you to leave my show with a sense of knowing what was missing that adds depth to the conversation. Tune in Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. on the new 1017 The Truth, the Truth app, or 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Be Told with DT and Telly returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Now and then I think of when we were together.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on the new 1017 The Truth. If you're just tuning in, number one, thank you. We appreciate your listening. It just never fails. You know, I'm just trying to demonstrate human decency every day when I get up. Even though I know that as soon as I leave my front door, depending on where I go, there are a number of people that see me before I even open my mouth to speak, regardless of what kind of car I drive, what kind of clothes I have on. I am regarded as less than, insignificant. And you know, I share with you, Telly, all the time, the airport never fails. I get reminded every time I fly. And so then when I read this or hear this interview and the transcript from the interview with Phil Jackson, where he says that he has not watched the NBA since the bubble, and that was during COVID when the NBA played games solely in the bubble. And as we all know, during the pandemic was when the George Floyd murder, the video of George Floyd's murder went viral. And during this time, the country, the world responded. As human beings, the majority of the world and this country responded that this cannot happen. You cannot murder somebody and try to use things like, oh, he wrote a bad check, or, oh, I smelled marijuana. There was marijuana in his blood, to justify killing him when you know you killing him. So when Phil Jackson says things like, they even, and I quote, this is from Phil Jackson, former NBA coach, first of all, who is they? They even had, not us, not we, not our, but they even had slogans on the floor and the baseline. It was trying to bring a certain audience to the game, and they didn't know it was turning other people off. Who are these other people? People, according to Phil Jackson, and I quote, want to see sports as non-political. So if supremacy were a person, it would be Phil Jackson. And let me give you the definition. This is the textbook definition of the word supremacy. Because I don't like to use words and then, somebody says, oh, you used it in the wrong context. No, let me just read the definition. The quality or state of having more power, authority, or status than anyone else. The state of being supreme. And these comments that came out of Phil Jackson's mouth, which is a reflection of how he truly feels, was a demonstration of supremacy. I am better than you. And his whole trajectory has been in authoritative roles where he served as the coach, where he made millions. Telly, we all know that growing up in the 90s, there were two teams that you saw in hip hop. I'll just say pop culture. The Raiders, at the time, Los Angeles Raiders, and Chicago Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Stop me if I'm lying. Those were the two teams that just were magnified and represented pop culture. And both of those teams, one NFL being the, at the time, LA Raiders, and the Chicago Bulls, were dominating pop culture and were made up of black men.
I agree. I'm
tired of having these conversations where I got to defend the fact that, and Telly, I promise I'm just going to wrap this up. But this is why I'm so upset about this. It's because it's as if when people say, and they did to LeBron, just shut up and play.
Yeah.
We don't wake up in the morning with the same desires that you have are the same desires that we have. We want to wake up in the morning. We want to go to work. We want to provide for our family. We want to come home, have a nice meal, talk to our family. We do all that. See, some people think that we just, we either play basketball or we entertain people. Because I tell you this, Telly, and I'm going to be quiet after I say this. People will come to me all the time. Are you ready for this? They will come up to me all the time. Now, you can go to my website and you can see the whole scope of what I do as a professional. Very rarely am I regarded as a CEO. Very rarely am I regarded as a subject matter expert. But 9 times out of 10, when people, and this is people that look like me too, they will come to me and say, Denise, you show is a great MC. Denise, you are the life of the party. Denise, you know how to entertain. You know how to keep people excited. But you rarely say anything about my intellect.
Yeah.
It's like certain demographics, it's okay when we're singing, we're dancing, we're playing on the field, making everybody else laugh, making everybody else millions of dollars. But as soon as we have a voice, we're punished for it. And it's usually, Telly, a reaction.
Yes. And here's the thing, Denise. That's why I am such a proponent of learning your history, because if you don't learn from your history, it's bound to repeat itself. And when people talk about, or the they that we're going to refer to, they want their sports without politics until it affects them, meaning wasn't a big deal, but soon as Colin Kaepernick started kneeling, it was, oh, you're disrespecting our vets. You're disrespecting the flag. And even Donald Trump said, they should kick them the hell out of the league and all this and all that, right? Okay. And what ended up happening with Colin Kaepernick? It basically cost him his career because he was kneeling about something that people do not still want to give attention to, and that's police brutality. Right? Okay. So Colin Kaepernick wasn't even the first one. If you go back, there is a player, an NBA player. His name was Chris Jackson. He changed his name to Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, and he became he was a great NBA player. And so what he would do during the national anthem, he would pray. That was a problem. He ended up getting kicked out of the league. So when they were like, oh, you can't pray while everybody else is listening to the national anthem. So he would go back to the locker room. Then that became a problem. And then next thing you know, he was out of the league. Another guy you should look up is Craig Hodges. Same thing. He became a Muslim, played for the Chicago Bulls, three-point champion, three-point contest champion, became a Muslim, never heard about Craig Hodges again. So my point is
Muhammad Ali. Ali, who is known as the greatest athlete of all time. He was born as Cassius Clay. He changed his name to Muhammad Ali. He refused to be drafted into the military based on his religious beliefs and ethical opposition. But you know what's funny? As I read that out loud, remember there were certain athletes, I ain't gonna say no names, initials AR, that were saying, I'm not going to be vaccinated because that goes against my personal beliefs. Wasn't no problem. You see, that's the thing. You got to understand this. When you have been throughout your entire life just wanting to do the right thing, and as soon as you leave your house, you're either unheard, disregarded, minimalized, abused, physically, emotionally. This is just from leaving my front door. And somebody had text on the Truth Talking text line telling that this is coming from a personal experience. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your ethnicity or race is or gender, but I do know one thing. This is not personal. I've had personal experiences, yes, but this is a disease that impacts so many black people in this country. We all have personal experiences with racism. And again, I've said this before, as a black woman, that's like being black twice in this country. Twice. So it's real. And Phil Jackson is just another example of people who, now that you're retired, now you want to say that? Do you think Phil Jackson I'm asking, this is not a rhetorical question. Do you think, based on what you know of Phil Jackson, do you think he would have made that comment if he were still coaching?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because you're not going to mess up your bread and butter. I mean, that was one of the reasons why Phil Jackson became the coach that he was, because what could he do? He could manage these personalities. He can manage these high egos, and he was the Zen master, and he brought people together. And basically, to me, that was just saying that he knew how to, quote unquote, tame or control
the big black vicious terrorist black man.
Go. But
okay,
but he was looked upon as this Zen master, and he is just so calm. He brought people together. He would read this, that, and the other. But even if you look at Phil Jackson's playing career, Phil Jackson was one of the biggest hippies playing in the NBA during the 70s. So, I mean, just go check him out.
So he was one of those. Like, he had the long hair. And
check him out. Check him out. That's why I always say it's always good to look to learn people history, because they'll have a tendency to repeat itself. Because here's the saddest part about all of this. We just heard this. How many people are walking around thinking about this and not saying it? But we want to hear from you, Truth Nation. 833-212-1017. Hit us up. Let us know what you think about Phil Jackson's comments about the NBA and him no longer watching it after making millions upon millions of dollars from the NBA, as well as becoming an 11-time NBA champion as far as being a player and a coach. More on the other side of the break. You're listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Justice is about receiving what we deserve. Quote Audre Lorde, who said, "There is no such thing as a single-issue struggle because we do not live single-issue lives." And that said, any freedom, including reproductive freedom, is our human right to decide what is best for our own lives. Reproductive freedom is about having bodily autonomy, which is the same as being able to control what happens to our bodies, including the decision to continue or terminate a pregnancy, rests with the pregnant person at all times and in all circumstances. Because when rights don't apply to all individuals and at all times, they are not rights. They are not rights. And as Black people, our rights are conditional way too often, whether we're talking about during police encounters, quality housing, or, some job opportunity.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute on the new 1017 The Truth.
Reaching out for support is an important step that takes courage.
At Ascension, Wisconsin, our mental health professionals are committed to delivering compassionate support and care at every step through personalized substance use disorder programs. Ready for recovery? We're here to listen and offer compassionate support. Start your recovery with our team by your side. Call 855-830-WELL, which is 855-830-9355.
When it comes to riding the bus, there's a better way to pay. It's Wisco, Milwaukee County Transit System's new modern fare collection system. Wisco is available as a card and in the UMO app, and is packed with features to make paying for your rides faster, easier, more reliable, and more affordable. So make the switch to Wisco and start enjoying the better way to pay. Learn more about the exciting changes at ridemcts.com/Wisco or download the UMO app.
Truth Nation, it's Tory Lowe from 1 to 4, and I want you to download the 1017 The Truth app. Hey, because you know it's amazing. Wow.
Hey, that's not bad, Sherwin. That's not bad, all right? But T-Lo, show Sherwin Hughes how it's really done.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tory Lowe from 1 to 4, and Sherwin's impression may have been trash, but he's right. You can hear all our best interviews, Panthers basketball, and me bringing all the smoke by downloading the Truth app today in the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. And why should they download the app, Benjamin?
You want to know why, T-Lo? You want to know why they should download the 101.7 The Truth app? Because it's amazing.
All your favorite interviews and best moments live in one place. Download the new 1017 The Truth app now.
I love the Truth app. I like being able to go back and listen to old tapings.
Milwaukee Black Talk. 1017 The Truth.
Tom Plank Road is blocking the right lane, so it's causing some problems. Right now from the zoo to Highway Q, going to take you about 20 minutes, but the backups actually go back through the zoo interchange. We're going to see backups starting around Oklahoma Avenue into the zoo. Eastbound 94 is going to be slow from the zoo interchange through the stadium interchange to about 27th Street, where you're going to start to see some of the delays easing up for you. And then southbound on 43, slowing from Bender Road all the way down past Hampton Avenue. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy, slight chance of rain, windy with a high of 48. Tonight, decreasing clouds, breezy with the low of 36. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneim. The 18-10 Milwaukee Brewers are back in action tonight and begin a 6-game road trip in Colorado. The crew will have 3 against the Rockies and 3 against the San Francisco Giants before returning home. For tonight, Freddie Peralta is slated to start forward the Brew Crew with the first pitch scheduled for 7:40. You can tune in over on WTMJ beginning at 7:05. Over to the NFL. Now that the draft is complete, the Packers are back on the clock for yet another big decision. The team has until 3 p.m. today to pick up or decline the 5th-year option on Jordan Love's rookie contract. That 5th-year option is worth $20.3 million. This sports update is brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
Truth Be Told with DT and Telly returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Are you looking for an opportunity to be better within the Milwaukee community? Do you want to develop your skills for a career or job? City Year Milwaukee is recruiting for its 14th cohort of AmeriCorps members. City Year is hiring, that's right, hiring young adults ages 18 through 25 to serve their amazing scholars in Milwaukee Public Schools. This opportunity allows you to serve your community and gain professional development which will always allow you to enter the workforce, your next educational journey, or even stay with City Year for a second year of service. Visit cityyear.org to connect with their local recruiters and learn how to apply. Thank you so much for tuning in to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. We've had an incredible dialogue this morning. I had fun, Telly, talking about the Met Gala. And I appreciate you indulging me because I know you could care less. So you did such a great job. See, you're such a good co-host with me. That's why I love you.
Look, I told you during the break that, when it comes to fashion, it's like you with sports. Like, there's a somewhat of a disconnect, but I'll lean on you on those things that I'm not that real diverse in.
And you know what? Just to clarify, sports meaning baseball.
Yeah.
Not too good in basketball, but you best believe come August preseason.
Oh, you ready?
Dun, 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 dun,
she gonna be coming in. Yeah, Telly, on that 3rd and 8. I mean, they were tripping. What was that play?
And I quote my son. My son, he's like, "Mama, you do not." He said, "Mama, you may not be the best person in sports, but you know football. You know your team. You know your Bears." Because look during the NFL draft this week or this past week, you would have thought I was a GM. I was taking notes. I was like, okay, so now we've got the 9th pick in this round, and we need this offensive line. I was on it.
We just traded our 1st round pick, and we traded
I was
down.
Like, Justin Fields ain't going to have to run as much this season. We're going to have some support. Yeah, I was on it. I am on it.
That's what's up.
And then we were, of course, talking about, oh my God. I don't even know. I'm gonna be the better person. I'm gonna actually I'm gonna embrace Michelle Obama's when they go low, you go high this time, Telly. Because usually when they go low, I go lower.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna take the Michelle Obama, First Lady Michelle Obama approach, and I'm going to not call Phil Jackson an idiot. I'm not gonna call him a jerk. I'm not gonna call him racist. I'm not gonna call him privileged. I'm just going to say, Phil Jackson, I can't wait. Has he been inducted into the Hall of Fame yet?
I want to say he has, but I'll check real fast.
Can we fact check that? Because I'm like, I hope that he doesn't have to be around black people anytime in the near future. Because let me not say that, because there are some people in both the black and African American community that may support and agree with Phil Jackson in terms of basketball being too political and athletes should just play the game and shut up. So let me not make a monolithic statement and speak for all black people. Truth Nation, how do you feel? Do you agree with Phil Jackson? Do you agree that basketball or professional sports, whether it's the NFL, MLB, NBA, hockey, is it becoming too political? Should the athletes just shut up and play the game? He is in the Hall of Fame. Okay.
Yes, he is in the Hall of Fame. Yep.
Yeah, that
figures. As a coach,
look,
not as a player, but as a coach.
Well, yeah. So, Truth Nation, our Truth Talking text line is 833-212-1017. How do you feel? Is Phil Jackson out of order for saying what he said? Or is it quite all right what he said? I agree. I don't agree. I'm just saying your thoughts may be, I agree, etc. Now, Craig on the Truth Talking text line says, DT, no. You call a spade in these days? No, it's best to keep it real. Does that mean you agree, Craig, with Phil Jackson, or you disagree?
No, I think Craig wants you to like snap off and really say what he.
And then he says, and then call them out on all their mess. That's why I'm here, Craig.
Yeah.
This is the truth. This is truth be told.
Look,
okay?
and let's go to the Truth Talking text line 833-212-1017. Mike, you are on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. Mike, what's your question or comment about Phil Jackson?
Yeah, this security, Mike, man. You know, security, Phil Jackson was my guy, and I've been hearing that. He around all these black players, just like a lot of other ex-coaches, white ex-coaches and whites, period. I think they're just tired of it's just sad to see a lot of young brothers out here getting this money, playing this ball, just like Eddie called the show in reference to about all these blacks out here and this and that. They tired of watching the game now. Back in the day, it wasn't a problem when we were breaking through, and it was mainly white players playing. Wasn't a problem then. Now it seems like it's a problem. I just don't understand Phil Jackson. You know, I'm always been a lifelong Bucks fan, But back in the day, I was riding with the Bulls because of Phil Jackson, Jordan, Pippen, Horace Grant, and all those guys. And now it's just like, I don't understand it. They just don't like to see these young brothers out here just taking over and getting this money. That's how I feel. And they true racism, not all whites, but it's coming out. Because it's strange and we see all these young black brothers out here getting.
Mike, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for your comment. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing your perspective. We appreciate you. And it's disheartening for me as well. On the Truth Talking text line, we also now have Oliver. Oliver, you are on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 101.7 FM. The Truth, what is your comment or question?
Okay, so I didn't see the Phil Jackson. I literally just got to work not too long ago. Like you said, growing up, I'm in my 40s, so I come from that era where, you know, during the 90s, it was just, you know, you had the triple threat, Jordan, Pippen, and, you know, and Scotty, Jordan, and, what's his other name? I forgot, but anyway, I think that, that the sports are mostly, it's literally, you can kind of tell it's dominated by a lot of blacks. I think that a lot of people, especially with today, kind of speaking up on issues, and they just don't like it. Which is unfortunate. But I think, as far as black people, we need to speak more on our spending. As far as like speak with our wallets more. That way, if enough of us just kind of do that, like, you know what, I'm good. You know, then they might hear us more. Because then if it hit them where it hurts, then they'll hear us more about, you know, more of the concern. But I haven't heard from what I'm hearing, from what you guys are saying, that's, it's not a good move on his part.
Well, Oliver, the great thing is, because you missed it, you can always go back and listen by downloading the Truth Be Told podcast. And it's sponsored by Gruber Law Offices on multiple platforms. You can hit up Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So if you missed it, Oliver, go back. It's worth listening to Phil Jackson's interview with Rick Rubin on his podcast. He talked about how he did not watch the NBA anymore since the bubble in 2020 because of the messages on the back of their jerseys as well as the slogans on the floor. He wasn't feeling it. And once again, you can always, Truth Nation, we always try to remind you that you can listen to all of our shows, Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. Just download the app. It's the easiest thing to do. The Town, you are on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. What's your question or comment?
How you doing?
Great.
Fantastic. Hey, Phil Jackson always been a fraud. He's always been a fraud. That stuff that y'all be buying from him about the Zen Master. Now he was a big hippie. He was a big hippie back in the day, and I understand that. But if you notice though, from the people of that era, the hippies of the 60s or whatever like that, they're like the old bosses and the CEOs now. So you see how they done changed their outlook on life once they done got some money. All right, let's talk about like him and the Bulls or whatever like that. You know, like when he's with the Bulls, he started all this seeing like he the Zen Master or whatever like that. But that was just the way to frame the story of how good this team was, because it was a 72-win team, and they needed a story to go behind. Look at him. Look at Phil Jackson on how he act with Shaq and Kobe to see what type of person this guy is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can look back over his career and point to a lot of things that led to these comments. So, like I said before,
he mega fraud. He mega fraud, bro.
Yeah. Appreciate the call, The Town. We always appreciate you listening in and chiming in. We're going to hit one more caller before we go to break. Bob, you on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. What's your question or comment?
How you doing? What I feel like with Michael Jordan, I love Michael Jordan no matter what. but now I kind of see things. I know now kind of how Chicago is, although I love Chicago. You know, when they asked me, or they asked the crowd, who's the GOAT, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? And I said, I love Michael Jordan more, but LeBron has to be the GOAT because he involved himself in Black Matters, wearing a hat, you know, that hoodie or whatever. And so I said, I have to go with LeBron. And when Michael Jordan owned the team, Phil Jackson should have said, I won't play for Michael Jordan because he's made me so famous by having 6 championships. But he didn't. I always wondered. Now I know.
Yeah, and
there it is.
To your point, so here's the thing. With the whole who's the greatest of all time as far as the NBA, to me, it's generational. So depending on which generation that you really, really got into basketball, it could be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It could be Magic Johnson. It could be Michael Jordan. It could be Kobe Bryant. It's all generational. And I think what relates to my generation the most in terms of saying or regarding Michael Jordan as the greatest is because he, to me, was the first Black athlete to have that level of endorsements. I mean, we saw it with O.J. Simpson, you know, in the NFL, but as far as basketball, in terms of commercializing it and really helping athletes make a whole lot of money, like what Shaq is doing now and, you know, LeBron, that all started to me with Michael Jordan. So for that, now I am curious, and I know we got to take a break. I'm curious, and my instinct is going to say no, but I'm curious to whether Michael Jordan will make a statement, a public statement about or react to what Phil Jackson said, but just based on previous experience with Michael Jordan, it's probably not going to happen. Scotty, maybe. Dennis Rodman, maybe. Michael Jordan, I doubt it. You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 101.7 FM The Truth. When we come back, we're going to close out with a recap and then get you ready for what we're going to bring to y'all during tomorrow's show. We'll be back.
Here at the new 101.7 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 101.7 The Truth, founded by American Family Insurance. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Your first time biking to work. Your new helmet? Secure. Your bike? Road ready. You got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So even if down the road that bike needs a little maintenance, at least your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy. You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year. At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with a link.
Okay.
Smart.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris, and the time is now, Milwaukee. You know, perspective is essential. What I found is the news behind the news is more important. I want you to leave my show with a sense of knowing what was missing that adds depth to the conversation. Tune in Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. on the new 101.7 The Truth, the Truth app, or 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Be Told with DT and Telly returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they
You already know, before we wrap up, it's that time of the show, Telly.
All right.
Back then, didn't want me, now I'm hot. They all on me, Truth Nation. If you have a back then, didn't want me, now they hot, they all on me moment, let us know. I'm still cracking up. I think it was Wesley. That's it. He went from $25 an hour to $65 an hour, and even the pets rubbing on him differently. We all have it. We all have that moment where somebody, you know, they try to play you like you was just nobody, and you didn't came up like we all do. We didn't have that come up moment, and now they either in your DMs or they're hitting you up. I love it when I get the, I'm so proud of you. I see you. I bet you do. But guess what?
You see now me because I'm out here.
Okay? But now you got to buy a ticket to the show. No green room access for you, baby. I'll give you a 10% discount code. How about that? Truth Nation, we love you so much. Telly, thank you for always being a brother from another mother. Benjamin, we know you're going to hold it down. We got Sherwin Hughes coming up. Until tomorrow, same time, same channel. Thank you. Make it a great day. We love you so much. This is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly, and we'll be back tomorrow morning, Lord willing. Have a great day.
Peace out.
Ain't nobody black running but crack curves, so why I got to register? I'm thinking of better stuff to do with my time. Never smelled the aroma of diploma, but I write the deepest rhyme. So let me take y'all way back to women jamming, state in Southwest Atlanta, A. Y'all could not tell me nothing, thought I hit that bottom rock. At age 13, start working at the loading dock. They laying my mama off of work, General Motors tripping, but I come home back like Hank from licking and dipping, doing dumb things, not knowing what I know now. Yeah, that petty stuff will have you cased up and locked down. I dip over to East Point, still acting a fool, wasting my time in the school. I'd rather be shooting pool.
Coming with straight truth.
What's stuck in your craw that makes you think that a person is going to pay millions of dollars for a property that they want to redo, rebuild, reinvigorate the city of Milwaukee on 76 and Brown Deer Road, and you're giving them trouble? Why is downtown always more important than the rest of the city? Is it because black people live up there?
Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and the Truth app.
Truth Nation, spring has sprung and we're doing some spring cleaning. We've already cleaned up our lineup with brand new shows, but now it's time to clean up our Instagram. We've created a brand new Instagram page that we would love for you all to follow to stay updated on all things truth. We'll be posting exclusive content, behind the scenes footage of our team, along with different things going on in the community that you should know about. We're taking out the old and bringing in the new for a fresh start, and we want to bring you with us to this new beginning. So follow us on the gram at 101.7 The Truth today.
On Diversity and Excellence powered by Erie Insurance, I am so excited to talk about the different ways that Erie Insurance can help with our community growth, can provide job opportunities from Erie Insurance Corporate, or with our local agency force. I'm really excited about the education of generational wealth in our Black and Brown communities and how we are a part of the communities here locally. There's so much more we can be a part of. Listen to me, Fred Johnson, on Diversity and Excellence, powered by Erie Insurance.
This is your Financial Empowerment Minute on the new 1017 The Truth, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
Because I got people who want to live off of $10,000 a month. And then I got people who say 4 is enough, right? Whatever it is, we want to make sure that, again, you have a plan and you know what it's going to take to get there. What resources do you have? Is it a 401k? Do you have a pension? Do you have stocks or,
Or real
outside
estate,
money.
stuff.
How are we going to fund it, right? Because that's a big thing too. A lot of people think, okay, well, I'm just going to dump money into my 401k and build it as long as I can, and then I'll be set. But taking money out and distributing it the right way is 10 times more important than accumulating it. Because you got to think about the taxes. You got to think about a lot of other things.
Tune into The Truth every month for our financial empowerment interviews with Northwestern Mutual.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The Bloomberg Black Business Beat is presented by Erie Insurance, providing the protection you need and the service you expect, all at a great price.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Leland Richards has enjoyed a lot of success in his career. He's worked at big firms like GE Capital and helped startups grow. Now he's a partner at Adams Street, focusing on their private credit business. As a person of color, Richards knows how hard it can be for someone from a diverse background to climb the corporate ladder. One bit of advice he likes to share with young people: Richards told me you can't underestimate how important it is to have good people skills, no matter what field you're in.
The goal for me is to constantly pull it back to relationship. If it's purely transactional, that means you're replaceable. Because the person who comes in and does it faster, cheaper, better, they're going to replace you. The more you push it more towards a relationship, it's hard to break that business connection that you have with somebody. Even if you're not the cheapest, even if you're not the fastest.
Valuing personal relationships can take you far, even if your job is based in dollars and cents. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
The following conversation brought to you by Omega. 800-300-9ERC. That's 800-300-9372. OmegaTaxCredits.com.
I thought I couldn't get the ERC if I got the PPP loan.
Nope. If you're a business owner with 5 to 500 employees, you might be eligible.
I thought it was really difficult to apply for the ERC.
Not if you use Omega. See, Omega is an accounting firm that has been around for over 15 years. They are a true accounting firm that will have a fiduciary relationship with you and your business, and they don't get paid until you get paid.
But I'm sure it takes forever to find out if you're eligible.
Again, no. If you call 800-300-9ERC, you could learn if you're a good candidate in less than 10 minutes.
I make a call that takes less than 10 minutes, and I can find out if my company is pre-qualified to receive a tax credit up to $26,000 per employee.
During the qualifying time frame, yes.
I'm checking out OmegaTaxCredits.com right now.
This conversation was voiced by actors that belong to a company that has already filed for their ERC.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect that of the staff and management of Good Karma Brands, but are the sole responsibility of the host and guests of this particular show.
America may have many, many days, but they will be full of trouble. There will be no rest. There will be no tranquility in this country until the nation comes to terms with our problems.
Bringing you social and political commentary from his mouth to your ears, breaking down the issues which matter to you.
You are not put here to be a white man's footstool. You are put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Mr. Sherman, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
From Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornel West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, man. But I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017 The Truth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth. You can't
handle the truth.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023. So I got a couple of different directions I can go with this show. Y'all got me nervous. Okay. I went to a movie, or there were other reasons for America's sustained military campaign. Some of those reasons were financial. Defense contractors made an awful lot of money. Contractors like Halliburton got $10+ billion contracts with no bid. Because you know, when you have major American troop installments, American troops need certain things. They need amenities. They need restaurants, and they need hospitals, and they need places for recreation. Well, private companies build all of those things for American service members when we are in foreign theaters of war. And it's extremely expensive, but of course, we want to protect the troops. We want to give our troops everything that we need.